For the next few weeks, your Sundays are about to change. They're about to get better. They're about to be filled with NFL. And here on the Turf and Touchdowns podcast, we are here to help you make those Sundays as fantastic as possible. We've got Thursday Night Football in the books, Tom. Not a clue what happened. Hasn't happened yet while we're recording this, but we are looking forward towards Sunday. I'm just so happy. It's just such a good time of year.
Yeah, this is just a great time of year. You know what? Autumn's now my favorite kind of season because everyone says summer, people say spring because it starts to warm up and you start getting different kind of sports coming into play. Autumn's the best. You get roast dinners if you're in the UK. Some hardened souls will have them during the summer, not me. Then it's dark outside. You get the candles on. We get Red Zone on the TV. It is the best time of year. And what we should say is hopefully we started 1-0 each on Thursday Night Football, but Sundays are where it really matters for the P&L. This is where we produce numerous selections week in, week out, and hopefully we can provide plenty of winners as well. I was going to do like a Scott Hansen kind of intro there where I would say 2 hours of turf and touchdowns commercial free, but it's not commercial free. And also it's only a duo box and not an octo box, so I don't know whether that really counts.
I think Red Zone might have ads this year.
No.
I think it might, because it's been bought. I think there might be ads.
That is a shambles if there is.
So 7 hours of partially interrupted football. Good job. You mentioned candles. What sort of scented candle are you? Are you like fruity? Are you like a bit more like...
This isn't a me. It's not a me thing. I'm not a candle man, but my girlfriend loves a candle. I would say they're just like vanilla flavor. Fresh.
Flavor?
Yeah. That's why I'm not a candle man.
That's what you go for. I love a candle. Candles are fantastic. Like, don't hide
I knew you'd love a candle.
Bring out the inner goddess. I don't know. Like, always knew it, Luke. Always knew it. Right, we are back on the Turf and Touchdowns podcast, previewing the Sunday slate. If you are new here, please do subscribe down below. We'll be going through our best bets for this Sunday. Leave a comment as well with your favourite picks for Week 1 of the NFL season, a prediction of how your fantasy team may well do. Who have you got in the Listener League in Week 1, Tom? Have you checked?
I have got... You know what's bad? I actually do know this, but I can't remember. I think it might be Connor. But I've got a good matchup in terms of high scoring, and it should be close in terms of projections.
No, you've got Scott Crowley.
Scott. Okay, I might have Connor in week 2. Who have you got?
I've got Paul Powley. And do you know what, Tom?
Screw you, Paul Powley. I'm gonna smash you into the ground, and I'm gonna flip you up, and I'm gonna get you gone.
You've absolutely lost the plot. We need to get rid of you right now.
The thing is, I think I've got CD Lamb or someone. I've got someone, I think, on Thursday night, so I could be dead by the time it already is. But there you go. I think it might also be Paul Powley's first time playing fantasy football. So there you go. There's an introduction, Paul. But please do subscribe down below. The rest of the show is a little bit more coordinated, and we might stay on track just that little bit more. Leave a comment. We're also in YouTube memberships as well. If you want a Monday Night Football preview, go check that out. Any questions, please do leave a comment down below. But something extra that we're adding to the Turf and Touchdowns resume for this year. Know what on earth this week, Tom? Because... No. Well, Jerry Jones, what are we doing? But yeah, let's put that by the by. We've already done that in Thursday Night Football. Let's go straight into our top picks. I will give you the floor first up because you're siding with one of my favourite players from last year.
Yeah, I am. 4 selections for me this Sunday in week 1. Usually we average around 4 to 5 probably a week each. These podcasts would usually have 10 picks. But I think in week 1, you've got to play a little bit tentatively. We don't know exactly what's going to happen. So these 4 picks are, I'd say, more predictable than what will happen in later parts of the season, where I'll go for some maybe outlandish underdogs in outright victories or some anytime touchdowns at bigger prices. But these 4, I think, are pretty likely to win. So we're going to start with, drum roll, Chase Brown. Guy you love. Anytime touchdown. In week 1, the Bengals play the Browns. The Bengals will win this game. Chase Brown will hopefully score, and he's 10-11 with some firms, 8-11 with the majority of firms to score a touchdown. So you're probably going to get 8-11 in the caption below. I really like him in this matchup. Not only is Cincinnati just dominant, or should be dominant against Cleveland, but they're going to be running the ball a lot. And Chase Brown last year proved that he is capable of being that kind of bell cow running back, the guy that they just give the ball to waste the clock, to still score points and to still move the chains. He is the guy that they have been looking for a number of years, really, ever since probably Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, I suppose, in Cincinnati. They haven't really been that top quality running back. Fans of Joe Mixon will say Joe Mixon, but he was good. He just wasn't great, in my opinion. Now, the Bengals have started the last 3 seasons 0-2, 0-2, 0-3. Surely they can't do it again. I mean, not only have they got Cleveland, but they're going to want to start with a win. They want to go towards the playoffs, and they've got this high-powered offense. So I think they're going to start hot. I think Chase Brown is going to be a key player in this offense in week 1. And I think that the Browns defense is just a shambles. The Browns offense is even worse right now. So I think Chase Brown's going to get a big workload. If you want some statistics on Brown, last year he had 7 touchdowns and 990 rushing yards. The first 3 weeks he barely played, and then he got into more of the action. So you could basically say he was a 1,000-yard rusher last year. All intents and purposes, just not down in numbers. He actually averaged 4 yards per carry, which is solid among running backs. And in 3 career games against the Browns, he has done pretty well. He's had an increased workload as he's gone through them. But he hasn't scored a touchdown yet. So that streak is about to end because he will score on Sunday.
Do you remember who the Bengals played in week 1 last year?
You know what's bad about this? I actually looked this morning and I still can't remember.
They lost to the Patriots.
Yes.
For whatever reason, Joe Burrow recently in the month of September has been absolutely abysmal. That said, and we mentioned this in some of our off-season podcasts, Joe Burrow is healthy for the first time properly to start a season off, and they've played somewhat in pre-season. So they've sat back, they've gone, you know what, we need to start better. So they're going to try and do that this time round. Chase Brown, I like the pick. It's a strong start. We will move that on to probably a game that not many people are looking forward to. But honestly, I think this is a game you have to take advantage of. If you're playing fantasy, if you're betting, please take a look at the Carolina Panthers at the Jacksonville Jaguars. And my first pick of the Sunday slate is going to be the Panthers and Jags to hit the over on total points. That line is 46.5. It's at 9-10. These two defenses, I cannot tell you how bad they were last year. They were horrific. We were talking about the Panthers. Oh, well, Bryce Young's looking good. He looks back. Doesn't matter. The defense sucked. Jacksonville, defense sucked. They couldn't do anything. You look at the Panthers, they allowed the most rushing yards last season. The Jags allowed the 8th most rushing yards. But then you flip that around, passing yards. Well, the Panthers aren't that bad, but the Jags are. The Jags allowed the most passing yards last year, and the Panthers allowed the 10th most. Part of the only reason why the Panthers only allowed the 10th most is because they're being beaten for most of the game, so then the other team started running the ball on them. The Jags have hired Anthony Campanile, who is a DC for the first time. He could be great at it, but it's something that is completely unproven. Both offenses have improved. I know Adam Thielen has left Carolina, but they brought in Tetairoa McMillan. I know Jalen Coker's on IR, but they've still got the likes of Xavier Legette and Hunter Renfrow, who, big Hunter Renfrow guy right here. I still think he's way better than the league is allowing you to believe. They've brought him back in. I think Jatavian Sanders is going to be good this year, and they've got Chuba Hubbard as well. And obviously, Travis Hunter has gone to Jacksonville. I think at least for week 1, he'll be playing more offense than he will defense. I think that will be the way of things for the year. This has supreme shootout potential. Honestly, from a viewing standpoint, Tom, this could be one of the games of the season.
That is a bold claim. I don't think it would be that
just
good.
Just on points. This could literally be 40-37. It honestly wouldn't surprise me. Both defenses are abysmal.
Hey, I think your over will hit. I just don't think it'll be that good a game. I don't think we'll see 40. I think it'll be maybe 28-24, something like that. I do see it being very competitive, and I do think there'll be lots of points. So I would be with your bet there. But I don't think it'll be one of the games of the year. I think we may be waiting until the 2nd or 3rd month of the NFL before we start to see those proper shootouts.
Yeah, but we do want points. And, Tom, who are you hoping is going to rack up a few of those?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the same game. I think this is the only time, actually, we cover the same matchups in our bets this weekend. But I'm going to go with Chuba Hubbard, over 63.5 rushing yards against the Jags at 10-11. You've talked about this Panthers offense and actually how bad the Jaguars defense is. I concur about the Jags D. I think they're very gettable, especially on the ground. if you looked at last year at the stats, Jaguars gave up 132.6 rushing yards per game. I mean, if they do that this year, Chuba Hubbard's more than passing 64 rushing yards, which is what we need to cover this bet. Chuba last year was the best player for the Panthers, offense and defense. I don't think there's any question there. He actually averaged 4.8 yards per carry, which was mad because the offense was so bad for so long in the early part of the season. And he accumulated 1,195 yards and 10 rushing TDs. It was actually a really good year from Chuba. I know plenty of people noticed that, and he did make, quite a few huge plays for the Panthers, and they made Red Zone's top 10 highlights and whatnot. But he had, I think, still an underrated season. He really carried the offense at crucial points, and he gained 79.7 yards per game. Why is he suddenly going to drop off to now not hit this 64-yard cover? I don't really get it. I understand that they have probably more competition at running back this year, but Chuba's going to get the workload. The Panthers are going to score points. He's going to run all over the Jags, and he will cover this rushing line.
Honestly, it's a sort of game where if you're playing a bet builder or same game parlay, whatever you call it in your jurisdiction, you could take a lot of guys on the over. I think Ted McMillan will go over. Factor in Lawrence, factor in Young, factor in Chuba Hubbard. The one grey area, Tom, is the Jags running game, just because we don't know who the number one's going to be.
Yeah, exactly that. We know that Jags passing offense is going to be red hot with those young players. I think the Panthers one will be too, but probably not as good as Jags through the air, purely because of the youth in their ranks right now with Tet, with Xavier Legette, Jimmy Horn. Basically, everyone is a first or second year wide receiver for the Panthers. Kind of the same for Jaguars, but they just have more proven talent out there. Yeah, I think the running game for the Jags and maybe the passing game for the Panthers are the slight question marks, but it's probably going to be high scoring because the defenses just stink.
Yeah, they do. Hopefully, we get points, and more points in the Panthers-Jags game. And look, there may be points in the next game that we're going to talk about because TreVeyon Henderson, welcome to the NFL, young man. He had a good preseason in the sparse moments he was used. His first touch, he managed to return, I think it was a kickoff to the house. He looked fantastic doing it. He also got another touchdown on the ground later on in the preseason. But I'm not going to go on the ground. I'm going to go TreVeyon Henderson over 22.5 receiving yards. That's 5 to 6. I like that line a lot. TreVeyon Henderson is going to be one of the stars, I think, of fantasy football this year. Not immediately. Don't get me wrong. He's not going to immediately go out there and just take the job from Ramondre Stevenson. Won't take long, but I think he will be playing a complementary role to start things off. He was used in the passing game a lot in college for Ohio State, a team that throughout his time there was absolutely stacked at wide receiver as well. 77 catches for 853 yards. The fact he got that much usage in a team that was that strong, I think that's a massive, massive thing. Josh McDaniels, he's back as offensive coordinator in New England. That's a huge thing as well. He loves using a receiving back. We've seen it throughout the years, including here in New England. He's voiced so many times in the offseason just how impressed he's been with TreVeyon Henderson in the passing game. And he's also mentioned how many plays they've drawn up just for TreVeyon Henderson in the passing game. So I'm expecting to see that almost from the get-go. They take on the Raiders. Look, Seahawks fan, if you didn't work it out. Pete Carroll's defenses in recent years in Seattle, they were very, very vulnerable to running backs, and they were very vulnerable towards receiving backs as well. It might not be the same case in Vegas. They've got a better D-line in Vegas than Seattle had a few years back. The Raiders D-line is solid, so Drake May is going to have to get the ball out early, and one of the first guys he's going to look for when he's on the field will be TreVeyon Henderson. Honestly, it's one of the things as well. He only needs to catch one ball. TreVeyon Henderson is elusive enough to make one catch go for 60 yards or so. He's that sort of guy. He flashed in the preseason. Like I say, he'll take over from Ramondre Stevenson at some point. I would say from an excitement level, Tom, TreVeyon Henderson is probably one of the top guys I'm looking forward to this year.
Yeah, he's extremely explosive. It's kind of a shame about the team he landed on right now. But Drake May's a good QB, and they could win more games than expectation. But yeah, I like your play. I like TreVeyon Henderson. Tell us pick 3.
Yeah, it's on me. I was just sitting back, like, job done. Right, Tom, you go do your thing, son. You are going to crush this one. But no, it is on me because we're keeping to schedule. We're keeping the time as well. My last pick in the 6 o'clock games will be the Arizona Cardinals -6.5. They take on the New Orleans Saints, who they're going to suck this year. They're not going to be a very good team. Spencer Rattler won the quarterback job. He beat Tyler Shuck, who they took in the second round. That fills me with no confidence whatsoever. Alvin Kamara is an aging running back. He'll still be fine. He'll still get his spots. But the Arizona Cardinals are a young, improving team. Kyler Murray's going to run the ball a lot more this year. James Conner's healthy. They've got Trey McBride. Marvin Harrison has to take a step forward first year going into the second, which, yes, he was a little bit underwhelming for what we expected of him in year one, but he was still good as a rookie. He had some solid numbers. On the defensive side of things, they took so many defensive assets in the NFL draft. Their defense has to be better. Even if it's not, I don't really see how the Saints are gonna overcome them. Spencer Rattler is not a very good quarterback in the NFL. He's a backup at best, and the Saints are really scrambling at the moment. On defense, Tyrann Mathieu has retired. He's not around anymore. Their defense looks like it's going to struggle. I think the Saints are front runners to be the worst team in the NFL. You look at the Giants, at least they've got a real solid defense. You look at the Jets, exactly the same. And there are bits to look forward to on the offensive side of things. Even the Browns have got an okay defense, and they've got little glimpses in their receiving core. Chris Olave can't stay healthy. I love Chris Olave, but honestly, I think this is one of the things that by week 4, you'll be looking at teams being double point favorites over the Saints. Take them now, bully the Saints. They're not going to be very good. And Tom, the Cardinals will be.
You're basically playing good team v bad team, take the handicap. And I'm going to do exactly the same with my next selection too. Very similar kind of way of thinking about things early in the year, which could be concerning to the viewers. We don't normally match up like this, but hopefully we're both profitable. I'm going to go with a slightly different game, but also a similar strategy, as I say. I'm going to take the Denver Broncos -8 to beat the Tennessee Titans. That is at 10-11. Your standard kind of handicap spread you'll get across all firms. I love the Broncos this year. Anyone that's watched any of our off-season stuff knows I'm hot on Denver. I think they're going to have a fantastic season. Their offense is underrated. Bo Nix is a very good quarterback, dual purpose, good legs, great arm on him. Wide receiver, they've got young talent as well as Courtland Sutton, who is your veteran out there, the guy that they're going to throw the ball to when they need to get a catch downfield. But they've also got Pat Bryant, a good young rookie. Troy Franklin, I think, will have a very good season. And Marvin Mims as well, who is explosive. I love the drafting of RJ Harvey. I think that could be the key to this Denver offense, though they do have other talent at running back as well. That's basically just covering the offensive side without even looking at how good their defense is. I don't think in any game this year, any team will put up more than 21 or 24 points on Denver. And when I say any team, I kind of mean the best teams in the division, the likes of the likes of Buffalo, Baltimore, you name it. I don't think any team is actually putting up more than 21 to 24 points on Denver. Their defense is littered with talent. Now they play Tennessee in week 1. Tennessee have starting rookie QB Cam Ward. It's just not the right matchup for a rookie quarterback to go into the NFL and look to have great success. There isn't much talent on Tennessee's team anyway. You look at their wide receiver group, Calvin Ridley, I mean, he's been a great player in the league for quite a while, but he's 30 now. He's aging. He's also very injury prone and he's on the injury report. Questionable, probably will play, but he's not 100% healthy. They've got Tony Pollard in the backfield because Tyjae Spears is already out injured. Mm-hmm. I just don't see where they're putting points up here. This game could easily end 24-3. I honestly think it will be something around that. Tennessee, if they score more than 10 points, I'll be shocked against Denver. And that means Denver need to score 18 points, or 19 technically, to cover. And I think they'll do that.
Yeah, Denver will be I don't even think surprise team's the right word, because a lot of people expect quite a lot from Denver. They did break our hearts, I'm going to be honest, Tom, in the NFL draft, because we were both all aboard Amari and Hampton going to Denver. And they go, no, we're going to add to our already incredibly good defense, and we'll take Jahdae Barron, and then we'll take RJ Harvey in the second round. But I like it. I like the early season. Just pick on the bad teams, because they're only going to get worse throughout the year. Pick on them while the price is there, and pick on them while the lines are there as well.
Yeah, exactly. I like that. And in this spot, it feels like traders are very keen to make things competitive, and they don't want to put double-digit favourites up. But I think definitely the Broncos should be 10-point favourites. The Cardinals, you can make a case that their handicap should be a lot bigger than, 6.5? I think there's definitely an angle to take these good teams against the bad ones.
Yeah, absolutely so. But we keep on moving, because this train ain't gonna stop. I don't know where I'm going with that. I don't know where. I thought it would be good. Twasn't.
Don't worry about it. We'll cut it. We won't. We absolutely will not. One take wonders here.
Joe, play it 10 times. Keep it
Don't
going.
do that. Do not do that.
Let's move on to my final selection before we can move on to Tom's final selection. I'm going to look, Seahawks fan. I think the Seahawks take the Niners in week 1. I think plus 2.5 at home is going to be a fantastic thing. The Seahawks, we sucked last year at home. We sucked. We were great on the road. There's been changes. There's been changes in the Seahawks mantra. We did have fans that were selling loads of tickets to away fans. There were effectively so many away fans in the stadium that the 12s weren't in effect. And I know it sounds cringy to say that the fans have got their name and whatever, but it's an actual thing. It's a loud environment. It makes life very tough for opposition quarterbacks, opposition players, full stop. I think the Seahawks will be good in week 1 at the very least. They've got a fantastic defense. But do you know who else they've got, Tom?
Who?
Cooper Kupp. He's having his first game for Seattle. Didn't make a catch in preseason because he was barely out there. But his line is 35.5 receiving yards. Just before I get into all my stats and whatever, how does that feel for you? What's that line?
Look, it feels low because Cooper, in the past, we've seen him rack up a number of 100-plus yard games. So it does feel low. Before you get into the stats, I'm just a little bit concerned about his usage in this offense. But it wouldn't surprise me at all if he hit the over.
Sit back, chill. Just let me just ease you, okay? Because Cooper Kupp, loads of people are saying he's washed. I don't think he is. I don't think he's going to be prime Cooper Kupp because that's ridiculous. But last year for LA, he was good up until they decided we don't really want you anymore. In week 14 for LA, he went 5 catches on, I think, 8 targets, 92 yards and a touchdown. And then after that, they just said, no, we're not going to use you anymore. He had 9 targets in a combination of the next 3 weeks, which for Cooper Kupp is outrageously low. In the playoff loss to Philly, he still had 5 catches for 61. He was still used against Philadelphia. It was honestly as if there was a fallout behind the scenes in LA. It was as if someone went to him and said, look, we're not going to bring you back next year. We're going to start bringing on our next guys and see how they fare. Because they just stopped using him. They stopped throwing the ball to him. They stopped using him as part of their game plan. He's a new face in Seattle. And you know what Seattle would love to do to their division mates, the LA Rams? They would love to go, look how good Cooper Kupp is. This guy's amazing. Why do you let him go? I think that's what's going to happen. I think Cooper Kupp catches like 6-7 balls in this contest. Obviously, JSN will still be the number 1 in Seattle. The O-line, I know in Seattle it's been a joke for a few years, and it's still not fantastic, don't get me wrong, but it's improving. Gray Zabel looked unbelievably good in preseason. That's the first-round draft pick for Seattle. Sam Darnold isn't great under pressure, so he's going to look to his slot receiver. He's going to look to Cooper Kupp to try and catch as many as possible. And this is the healthiest that Kupp has been in years. If you are in any way on the Cooper Kupp train or think he could be even moderate, this line of 35.5 is outrageously low. So, Tom, give me Cooper Kupp, the Seattle Seahawk.
That will not be the only time Luke picks a Seahawk this year.
Well,
is that right?
Possibly, yeah. I did want to go for Seattle to win the game, and I did want to go Seattle plus 2.5. But as we found out last year on the podcast, we pick our own team, we just kill ourselves.
Doesn't work. Really doesn't work. The Packers killed me numerous times in the back end.
Yeah. I've just noticed, by the way, you've got Packers stuff on. You said in between the Thursday podcast and here, I'm going to save my Packers stuff till next week on Thursday. What, late?
Well, firstly, it took you 24 minutes to realise I was wearing this. And secondly, it was actually more the polo that I'm saving for Thursday Night Football next week. So I thought we'll just whip out the hoodie, give it a little run out. I won't talk about the Packers much, but now we have.
No, I'm not talking about them. They suck.
Yeah, that's fair. To be fair, we should actually briefly mention this before I go into the final selection on the podcast. What a game this week, by the way. Green Bay at home to Detroit. That could be an NFC North decider in week 1. Are you pumped for that as much as I am?
I'm looking forward to watching it. I'm surprised you guys are favourites at home.
2.5-point favourites now as well.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised about that, but yeah, I hope Detroit whoop you.
What? Come on, man. I think it'll be a good game. I think we'll win, but it'll be close. And prior to us signing Parsons, I actually thought Detroit would probably be the best bet there. But now
Albeit,
with Parsons,
have you seen Parsons is hurt?
yeah, but he's been hurt for a while, hasn't he? He'll play.
Yeah, he's going to have apparently an epidural ahead of the game, which
Yeah.
Come on, Micah.
Rather him than me.
Yeah, Micah Parsons having a baby. Right, Tom, give me your final selection of the day. This is the most Tom Collins thing to do imaginable.
Is it? Interesting.
You love going late.
Yeah, I do. Now, we should say in these Sunday previews that we do every single week of the NFL season, there will always be one play in the primetime game. Because the primetime game is usually the best game of the week, it is this week as well, unless you like the Packers Lions, which I do. But it is Buffalo Bills against Baltimore Ravens. What a game this is. Many people are going to go shootout. You've got Josh Allen on one side with James Cook. A defense is okay, but not amazing at Buffalo. On the other side, you've got the Baltimore Ravens, who have a great defense, but not the defense of old. And also last year, they shipped a lot of points to teams they shouldn't have been shipping a lot of points to, including the Raiders. On offense, they've got Lamar Jackson, Zay Flowers, Derrick Henry. I mean, there's points everywhere, right? Not so fast. I don't think so in this first week. Many people think that the NFL just starts red hot. All these players are keen in this rhythm and they can catch every ball and the throws are always going to be on target. It's not the case. If you ever play overs, unders, you will know this because unders hit regularly in week one. I'm taking the under on the Buffalo Bills, Baltimore Ravens, under 50.5 points. That is at 10 to 11. What I think this game is going to boil down to is it's going to be a running matchup between Josh Allen, James Cook, and then Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. And the reason I think that is if you go back on the trends for these two teams when they faced off in the past, it just looks like they're going to continue the same game plan. They don't really have a plan B when they face each other. Now, in the last 8 games that they've played, 7 of them have hit the under. The only one that hasn't was in the playoff game in January, where it finished 27-25. There was 52 total points, and I think the over-under was set to 49.5. So that was the only time. But that was a playoff game, slightly different. One team really has to go for it when they're behind, etc. It's a different game plan. In the other 7 games, we've hit the under. Now, let me give you some important statistics, okay? When these two teams played in September 2024, that was the penultimate time they faced off. It finished 35-10. It hit the under, but more crucially, there were 57 running plays compared to 31 passes. In 2022, they played. The game finished 23-20, 43 points, hit the under. There were 58 running plays compared to 39 passes. Lots of running the ball, right? This game, I think if you're running the ball this much, the clock is going to continue to tick down, tick down, tick down. We still might get a good game. We might get 24-21 in this spot, a total of 45 points, but that hits the under, right? There's no question there. I like the under here. I think we're going to get a good competitive matchup, a low scoring matchup compared to expectation, but I think we're going to cash in on our bet.
Yeah, I like the angle as well. That you've got the Bengals, they're going to go to the Browns and they're going to be like, well, we're just going to whoop you out of the way. That's the plan. Whereas these guys are playing a team that are going to be a problem for them later on in the season. We don't want to give you the win and we don't want to take the loss. That's detrimental in 2 ways massively. So they might just be a little bit more tentative to start the season off. I don't mind that bet whatsoever. And we'll be staying up late on Sunday night. I'm disappointed in you.
Why?
I thought we might get a waiting all day for Sunday night, but...
to be fair, we'll save that for next week. We'll save it to next week. I promise you I'll give you a good rendition. It probably won't be the kind of rendition you see on TV, but it'll be good. My vocal cords aren't warmed up today.
Waiting all season? I mean, yeah, we've only done like 2.9 podcasts so far today. Why would they be warmed up?
I know that. I need 5 podcasts to get me going, don't you worry.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see how we go. That's us done. Or is it?
No.
It's not. Do you remember last year how I started off with Player of the Days like 7-1?
I do remember that, yeah.
We're going to go 1-0 because my Player of the Day this week is Arizona Cardinals minus 6.5. They are going to absolutely pulverize the New Orleans Saints. Arizona Cardinals minus 6.5. That is at 9-10. Tom Collins, Player of the Day.
Would you like to wrap up all of your selections in this?
Yeah, we do that, don't we, actually?
We do that. It's been a while, so I'll let you off. We do that. We kind of...
I'm really out of practice. Yeah. But tell you what, even better, let's show off our new graphics, Tom. Because if you're not new here, welcome back. Everything's changed. Everything's a little bit different. And look down the bottom. Stuff's going to be happening down there. My picks this week in order Panthers, Jags, they're going to go over 46.5 points. That's 9-10. Travion Henderson, he's going to go over 22.5 receiving yards. That's at 5-6. The Cardinals, that's the play of the day, -6.5 at 9-10. And Cooper Kupp is going to have a great start for the Seattle Seahawks for his Seahawk career, over 35.5 receiving yards. That is at 5-6. So, right, I did it, Tom.
Well done, well done. Yeah, that's the standard way we do things here. I'll wrap mine up as well. 4 plays on Sunday. Chuba Hubbard, over 63.5 rushing yards. That's versus the Jaguars at 10-11. Chase Brown, anytime touchdown against the Cleveland Browns, 8-11. That is my play of the day. Early one, 6 p.m. Broncos, -8 versus the Tennessee Titans. Again, 10-11 there. And then the Bills, v. the Ravens, primetime game, under 50.5 total points. Again, at 10-11, hoping to go 4 from 4. But as we always say, Luke, you don't always have to play these in accumulators. I think quite a few punters, especially over in the UK, just put American football bets all together because you're never going to get big prices. It's A or B, 10-11 each of 2. But you can play singles rather than parlays or multiples. It's the way forward. It's how we do our P&L. And if we get 3 out of 4, for example, this week, you end up with a profit. You don't need all 4 to win, though it's probably wise to have a little bit on the acca just in case.
Yeah, you feel real dumb if you don't have the 4. Just quickly, my favourite bet of yours this week would be Chuba Hubbard. What's your favourite pick of mine?
Travion Henderson for me.
Travion, I didn't think you'd say that.
No, I like him. He's explosive.
He is explosive. Gonna go kaboom in New England against the Raiders. That is the first NFL Sunday video in the books. And Tom, it's like half an hour. We kept that well quick.
This is the aim. Half an hour all season long. Not much gibberish, albeit the first 3 minutes of the podcast work completely. God knows what happens there. But yeah, 30 minutes. I reckon we can do that all season long. Or can we?
No,
probably not.
Won't go well. Please subscribe. Please leave a comment down below. Leave a like on the video as well. It helps massively. Go check out our YouTube memberships. Join. I've given it a name, Tom. The Pick 6 Club.
Why?
Because it works horse racing and also it works in NFL.
I suppose that is, but then do we not need to have 6 picks for that to work?
No.
Okay, good. Great answer.
Right, let's wrap this up. That is the Turf and Touchdowns podcast for this Sunday. Done 3 podcasts, 1 week on the Turf and Touchdowns podcast. Go check out all of our content on our YouTube page. Until we get to talk to you guys next week, stay safe, look after one another. Goodbye.